I want to take a quick minute to talk about intersectional feminism and how Wicked's marketing did intersectional feminism way better than Barbie's. Now, mind you, I love Barbie. I have an entire Barbie podcast, and I even cosplay as Barbie. So, first off, I think a part of the issue is that in the marketing of Barbie, they heavily relied on Margot Robbie, and she did an amazing job, but they didn't shift the narrative in people's heads that Barbies were not all blonde. They they had a diverse array of different Barbies, but the Barbie that everybody would cosplay as, the Barbie that everybody would dress up as for Halloween was Margot Robbie. Really interesting. Case in point, I coordinated two big cosplay meetups. And one of them, I dressed as the OG Barbie and I put a wig on versus using my natural hair. I decided for the next cosplay that I would use my real hair, or at least like I would use a ponytail and I would have my dark hair. I got way more attention. People recognized me more as Barbie with the blonde hair than as Solo and the Spotlight Barbie. And I feel like it's because when we think of Barbie, we think of Barbie as blonde and white and stereotypical. And the Barbie movie did none of that to change the narrative. Fast forward to LA Comic Con this year, I dressed up as the Broadway version of Elphaba because I didn't know what the film version of Elphaba would look like and I didn't have the materials, and people automatically knew who I was. Yes, there was like people who thought that I was She-Hulk maybe, but for the most part, people who knew the musical knew who I was, and in part it was because of the marketing that was going on. We know that there is no Wicked without Elphaba and Glinda, and both women are very, very important to the story. Now imagine a world and how stupid and racist and dumb it would have been if they only focused on Glinda and they didn't focus on Elphaba. That would be silly, right? Because this is Elphaba's story. But for Barbie, they didn't do that. For Barbie, it wasn't about Gloria and Barbie, even though Gloria had just as important a role as Barbie did in the entire movie. You focused more on the Margot Robbie Barbie. We have all of the Barbies that were released, all were Margot Robbie's blonde-haired, blue-eyed Barbie. So when the general public, who maybe isn't your Barbie aficionado, goes to see the Barbie movie, what do they think of when they think of Barbie? Blonde and white, which just lent into the stereotype of Barbie is blonde and white, and this is the beauty standard, and this is who Barbie is. But that's not true. And actually, Mattel has been actively fighting against that stereotype and releasing the most diverse array of dolls around. And with Wicked, they made sure not to do that. They gave us options. They told us green and pink. And both women were elevated. They were equally as important when it came to interviews because the story was centered around them and their friendship. And had the Barbie movie done that, maybe focusing more on Gloria and Barbie versus Barbie and Ken, and especially Barbie, then maybe it wouldn't have had the same, even though it was super successful, I, as a Barbie lover, felt excluded from the Barbie narrative. And I feel like I shouldn't have felt that way.